I move that this House acknowledges the insidious influence of billionaires such as Gina Rinehart in stoking social division in our community and lobbying for policies that further advance their personal wealth over the interests of Western Australians, and notes that through her company Hancock Prospecting, Gina Rinehart donated $895,000 last year to the political lobby group Advance, who spread racist, anti-immigrant and Islamophobic disinformation during the last federal election. That Advance also campaigned aggressively against climate action and for continued and expanded use of fossil fuels, a position that furthers the corporate interests and personal wealth of Gina Rinehart. And two, calls on the Cook Labor government to urgently condemn the use of immense personal fortune to promote narratives that pit Western Australians against each other, to cease any state government promotional relationships, sponsorships and/or partnerships with companies and/or entities fully or partly owned by Gina Rinehart, to ban political donations from fossil fuel companies and individuals who own a controlling or blocking share in a fossil fuel company, and to end cash for access fundraisers and events where corporations or high net worth individuals pay for privileged access to ministers.
Thank you, President. I rise to oppose this motion. Now, this motion is, from the Greens is a blatant attempt to divide Australians, pitting us against each other as normal, ignoring their own hypocrisy. Now, the Greens are the real dividers. You hear them talking all about, racism and all these different things, but continually, I've seen the honourable member that stood up there, marching at different rallies and promoting anti-Australian rhetoric. And she talks about white supremacists. The main people that have been investigated in this country are radical Islamic extremists. If you look at the amount of planned attacks on this country and you start to point out a couple of people of late that have happened, it doesn't compare to the actual problems that is happening in this country from people that they don't want to acknowledge are a problem. Now, it's hard to even understand why they would go after one person when we know, look, that would be great. I'm for the motion in the sense of, yeah, billionaires shouldn't be giving money to any political party, but neither should be a lot of other people. The Greens are just as happy to take money from wealthy people, and I'll point that out. Now, they stoke their division with their climate policies that shut down mining and gas, while still China is pumping out their coal. We're sending our coal over there and they're pumping it. We don't hear anything from the Greens on that. It's always attacking us on and pushing for this crazy unicorn idea of net zero, which we know is just not going to happen. It's not going to work out. It's just talking about making people worse off in this country. Well, it's the net zero targets that have been pushed that are making it worse for the people in this country. Now, when I look at Mrs. Rinehart, she deserves better than finger pointing at her. She genuinely donates a lot of money. She's done a lot of good for WA and for Australia as a whole. I'm going to point out a few things here. In the health sector, she's given millions to save and improve lives in this country and in this state. She's donated more than $20 million to the Royal Flying Doctors Service. So keep talking about what she's doing bad. She donated to, maybe Advance, and that's because it's someone that opposes, what the Greens are pushing for. She's provided $6 million for Pilbara cancer support. She's contributed $5 million for the St Vincent's Hospital redevelopment. She donated $2 million to the Bendit Cancer Centre. She funded mobile lung screening in the regions. Now, that's real and practical help for Australians. OK, there's plenty of people. What was that? It's a tax write-off. Well, I don't see and don't hear, where is all this money coming from the left, these left-wing extremists that donate to the extremist left of the political parties? You don't hear about them doing all these things. She's overseas even. Mrs. Rinehart's contributed to lifting Cambodian girls out of poverty. Through the Hope Scholarship Program, she funds universities for those in need. She serves on the board of an organisation called SISHA, which fight human trafficking and the exploitation of children in Southeast Asia. Hardly something a racist would do. It was pointed out she's a racist supporting racists, you know, like, here's a woman who is supporting many different people, not just people in Australia, but it goes outside of Australia for the Cambodian girls, for all these different people. That's not a racist. So to have someone come out calling this lady who has, you know, worked in our nation and brought a business, I don't know a lot about the business, but I did a bit of research because of this. I just went on what I'd seen in the media before, but I thought she was just this billionaire who came from already big money, or she did as far as what she was left, but from what I understand, the business wasn't doing well. And this was a smart woman who has taken a company that was in a bad state to a place of being, what is she, the richest woman? I don't even know, because I don't pay attention. Richest woman in Australia, or, you know. Yeah. So that is something awesome in my view, that this woman, we talk about women all the time in society and what they do and what we should look up to and how women should be CEOs, women should be this. Well, this woman is a woman that took a company that was failing to a point that is now the richest woman in the country and is using that money for good. I mean, it's just crazy that this motion, I mean, I could have supported a motion that just brought forward, let's get rid of billionaires from supporting political parties. Let's get rid of all these wealthy, rich people from both sides, from this side. It's just, now, I mean, she's provided, you know, money to the Olympics, $60 million for Olympic sports. The stuff she's done, it just goes on. I was looking at it as $1 million for Anzac Cemetery Fund. She sponsors Australia Day events. She sponsored the Perth fireworks. Like that, we'll talk about unity. It's bringing people together that day. Everyone loves it. You know, she sponsored that. She provides bonuses for Commonwealth Games medalists. That creates national pride and national unity. How is that divisive at all? All these things she does in society. So let's just ignore all the great things she does and focus on that she gave some money to some organisation that the left don't like because they go after them to counter people like the Get Up with all the money that flows in. And Get Up are running ads for One Nation at the moment, putting up big billboards, and they're sending it out to everyone saying, let's all attack One Nation. Where does their money come from? So talk about that. Yeah, so anyway, this motion, you know, slams all that money in advance, just like I said. Meanwhile, billionaires and millionaires flood cash into, you know, Labor, Liberal and the Greens. All these people still get money. Take Anthony Pratt, worth over $20 billion. He gave $1 million to the Labor Party in 23-24, also $1 million to Liberals in recent years. We know that property developers are donating massively to Labor, but the member still just chose to attack Mrs Rinehart. The Greens are happy to divide Australia and lower our standards of living. One of the Greens' biggest donors is Mr Duncan Turpie, a millionaire gambler who has donated more than $1 million to them. In 2023, LB Conservation gave them $360,000. And estates like Jeffrey Bond donated $124,000. Retired tech millionaire Norman Pater donated $400,000 to the Greens. So in the interest of some consistency, I'd like to ask the Greens right now, would you commit to rejecting any money from any individual worth over $10 million? Let's say $10 million. Reject that your party takes any money moving forward. I mean, are they, is that, or is it just billionaires, or it's okay for millionaires, or, you know, it's just blooming hypocrisy. It's ludicrous. It's just hypocrisy, that's what it is. So they really have no problem with billionaires influencing politics in this country, as long as it's billionaires that agree with their ideology. That's the problem. It's only if you support them. They'll support anything as long as you support their ideology. Now, they divide us with anti-Australian rhetoric. We hear all about, you know, Islamophobia, racist, this, that. The Greens are the biggest dividers, you know, to keep naming One Nation and pointing out One Nation. Well, the Greens are the biggest dividers, and we've seen that in The Voice and other things. So it's obvious why the Greens have singled out Mrs Rinehart. She doesn't fit with their agenda. So anyway, I mean, it hasn't even mentioned the influence of donors like Simon Holmes à Court, but one could expect from an MP who also said, I think regrettably, there are no Indigenous regrettably, there are no Indigenous MLCs in WA. Well, she could step down and say, here, get my boss, give it to one of them Indigenous, let them be a MLC here. Step down, let them take over. That'd be great. But you want to talk about division, maybe look at yourselves, the division that the Greens talk about. Because I guarantee you that every average Australian doesn't want mass immigration in this country, and they don't want our kids given puberty blockers using your extreme gender ideology and rationale that you do. So your party is the racist, one that divides this country, not One Nation. When you keep calling us all these things, you point One Nation out all the time. Well, it's time to stop, because it's the Greens that are the most divisive political party in this country. Yeah. No, it's because there's many things. There's a dozen, there's hundreds of things that the Greens are...
Order. Member, I'll just invite you to bring your comments back through the chair, not directed at individuals, and to the content of the motion. I'll also invite members not to interject, given that other members had been listened to in silence. So 2 issues that I've just raised there. The Honourable Rod Caddies.
Thank you, President. So anyway, One Nation wants to bring us all together as one nation. So people can call out from the Greens or any other party, it wants that calling us whatever they like, but we've had the same narrative right from the beginning. Pauline Hanson and this party has had the same view all along, that we want to be one people, one nation. So that's not divisive, that's not what happens on the other side. We're asking for everyone to be treated equally, not based on the colour of your skin or where you're from, everyone equally based on need. So now anyway, we've stayed like that for the last 30 years. Like I said, since the party began, it's never changed. We've never moved away from saying that we want everyone treated equally. So if you want to call that divisive, same as The Voice or any other thing, I disagree. And we should be boosting up Mrs Rinehart and using her and promoting her as what people should strive towards and emulate. Young girls, especially young girls, looking at a woman who has been so strong in what she's done and such a great businesswoman in this country, and see that this is where you can go if you want to be a successful woman. Look at her, look at what she's done with this company and taking it to where it's at today and where she sits inside, and that these people then could help their fellow Australians in the way that they would like to. So One Nation will not be supporting this disgraceful motion, and the member should be ashamed of herself for attacking this woman who has contributed more to this country than she ever will.